Once again, Sarah Rosen Wartell.
So I got to visit 4 of the knowledge labs, and I hope just that sampling that I got was pretty cool. And I hope that each of you got to enjoy what I hope is not the end, but the beginning of a conversation with us and many others around really what sounded like great discussions. So my great pleasure now is to introduce another terrific changemaker. Since its creation, the John and Laura Arnold Foundation, which is now known as Arnold Ventures, has had a steadfast commitment, unique in some ways amongst its foundation partners, to using evidence and the research that helps to create it to guide policy, to make sure that our society invests its public resources in things that work. As the reach of Arnold Ventures has grown to new areas, so has their impact, improving programs, lives, and communities every day. Recently, the Arnolds have become even more focused, as I think Kelli will tell us in a minute, on making sure that we target evidence to the point of decision, ensuring that facts and data are not just sitting on a shelf, but they are designed to support decision makers, stakeholders, and the communities themselves at the very moments when they are together making important choices. As we at Urban have pushed ourselves in recent years to make sure our work was more relevant and accessible, we've had no better partner than the Arnold Foundation, which has invested in us and, like another foundation I mentioned this morning, challenged us and pushed us to be better, and really demonstrated what it means to be change agents in philanthropy today. About 2 years ago, the foundation hired a dynamic new president to lead these efforts to great result. And so it's my pleasure to introduce to you the president and CEO of Arnold Ventures, Kelli Rhee.
Thank you, Sarah. At Arnold Ventures, we see ourselves as problem solvers. Broken systems, collapsed markets, what seem like insurmountable problems, we aim to identify and fix them. Today, I want to talk to you about an institution that is failing and in desperate need of change, our nation's prison system. But before I tell you about the problems that we're facing, I want to start with a bright spot. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of visiting the DC jail and a very innovative program there called Young Men Emerging, or YME. That program appears to be paying dividends. YME has an entirely different approach to restore hope to those who are serving time so these men can re-enter their communities with a brighter future. And with a caveat of saying that we haven't rigorously studied this program, I'd like for you to take a look at the video and see what it looks like to reimagine prisons.
Keep dreaming, that's the only way dreams grow. I keep my head high, you can't win if you keep it low. We emerging, keep striving, going, keep growing. We believe in you, we believe in you, we believe in you.
This is the future correction. We are changing the dynamics.
I've been incarcerated for now 23 years. I'm a founding mentor on the Young Men Emerging Unit, a therapeutic environment, a rehabilitative space for the 18 to 25 demographic.
When I came inside of YME, I still had the same attitude. I still was acting the same. A lot of people had belief in me that I did not see in myself. They brung Drayvon out of Drayvon.
I was only taught to destroy the environment. YME has put the community in my life and showed me how to build it up.
And we love you for, we lift it up.
The amount of love
and support that I see there is something that I wish was throughout, not necessarily just the jail, but just in regular communities.
Those closest to the problem is closest to the solution, but furthest from the resources and the power.
What inspires me? You. And the thing that I struggle with is this: if you only see yourself as I see you inside.
So the vision is to, one, yes, to reform the prison space, to make it more humane, but more so to take these ideas and these concepts and take them into society. So we can stop people coming into prison in droves.
Love is an action word, and I'm willing to serve. Nevertheless, we on the test. I'm a man of my word. I'm a young man emerging, while the people observing know that I'm rising for certain. My spirit is never hurting. Believe in me, believe in us, and trust gon' take us far. I'm like a diamond in the return to a shining star. Gave me life at 16, never knew what that meant. Attempted to murder my dreams, gave me wind under my wings. Why me realist? I same as patent created to tame. I'm saluting the queen. Step on the body, get clean. See my partner, hot lane. This all feel like a dream. When we was younger, our hunger had us aiming with beams. Now we shifting the mind, cause we bigger than crime. Youngers respect us cause they know we this serious.
It's inspiring. When I see what's happening at YME, I'm filled with hope. You might wonder why I started with a bright spot, and it's unfortunate as to why. We really don't have too many of them when it comes to America's prison systems. Unfortunately, we actually lack the data and evidence to really know what is happening behind prison walls. And what we do know is not good. I'd like to share with you a few of the sobering facts. The size of our prison system is absolutely staggering. The US makes up about 5% of the world's population, but we are home to 25% of the world's incarcerated people. If our prison system were a city, it would be the 9th largest in the US, just ahead of Dallas, Texas. The relative size of our prison system outpaces other countries, and we aren't safer for it. The growth in prisons since the 1990s has produced almost no improvement in public safety. If you've watched the news, I'm sure you've seen stories about the brutal conditions and violence inside prisons. Most recently in Alabama, a Justice Department report outlined cases of inmate deaths, sexual abuse, and entirely too grim conditions. So with that, it is not a surprise that those who spend time in prison come out worse off. Half wind up back behind bars within 3 years. That's a 50% failure rate of this government system. We wouldn't accept that kind of failure from virtually any other institution. What if half of students failed to graduate from our public schools? What if half of hospital patients were readmitted for the same condition they were treated for in the first place? What if the IRS just decided that collecting half of taxes was good enough for this year? We would say those government systems are broken, they need to be fixed, or we're defunding them. But here, we have a system that fails 50% of the time, and we're really not even studying the problem, much less waving a red flag. Until now. Incarceration is an inescapable part of our criminal justice system, and we have a responsibility to ensure that prisons are run effectively and humanely. In order to see this kind of radical change take place, it's going to start with giving data and evidence to decision makers. They need to know what to do and where to invest, and that is why I'm here today. Arnold Ventures is pleased to announce a $10 million grant to the Urban Institute. Urban will create prison researcher partnerships in 4 states, where policymakers will work with those in the community to use data and evidence to guide innovations in prison design, operations, and culture. This work, I believe, will be the cornerstone of prison reform. It will be a cornerstone of our work in this space, and I believe it will be a cornerstone of Urban's next 50 years. As a start, we are also supporting important work with other groups, including the Vera Institute of Justice, the Justice Policy Institute, Unchained Media Collective, One Voice, and the Ladies of Hope Ministries. I look forward to seeing the impact of this work. Success to me will be coming back here, I hope soon, to talk about the inroads that we've made, about the lives changed, and about a system that is better. So before I close, I have a special message. Those in this room are not the only audience I'm speaking to. I want to say hello to the YME group. So the gentlemen that you saw in the video are watching us via live stream. So everyone feel free to wave or applaud. And I have a message for you, YME, that only you will understand. Today, I'm a 10, and I'm a 10 because I'm filled with hope. In the video, you at YME said, those who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution, but furthest from the resources and the power. I want you to know we're listening, and we want to work with you. Because you, YME, and you, the Urban Institute, are a part of the change our system desperately needs. Thank you.